My 27M, GF, 26F, crossed a serious boundary today. I, 27M, have been dating my girlfriend, 26F, for about a year. Lately we've been fighting a lot, mostly about trust, boundaries, and jealousy. Today, she told me that she contacted one of my exes directly and told her to unfollow me on Instagram. I haven't talked to that ex in over a year, and she had recently followed me again, but I didn't follow her back. When I confronted her, she said she was just trying to protect our relationship and didn't understand why it was a problem. I told her how it makes me feel like she doesn't respect me as a person and that I feel like she greatly overstepped a boundary. Then she went off on me saying hurtful things and how she had to contact my ex because I obviously wasn't able to handle this situation on my own. I've tried communicating my limits before, but her contacting my ex seems like a significant escalation. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Some days it feels like she is obsessed with my exes, as she brings them up all the time and often without context. Now my question is, has anyone dealt with a partner who repeatedly crossed boundaries, and how did you handle it? You handle it by getting the fuck out of this relationship. You don't have a boundary if there is no consequence for someone to cross it. There would be 90% fewer posts on this subreddit if people would actually make their boundaries be boundaries. Your girlfriend sounds unhinged, man. It's quite wild to reach out to the other person and demand your ex to remove you from her social media. Sure, between you and her, she could request you to unfollow your ex. But for her to reach out to your ex, that's wildly insecure, jealous, entitled, and controlling. Really has no right to dictate other people's social media like that. I bet your ex had a good laugh about that one. Ex-boyfriend dating a crazy girl. Time to get out, man. People like this, they just become worse as time goes on. Has anyone dealt with a partner who repeatedly crossed boundaries, and how did you handle it? By walking away and cutting off contact. You can't force other people to respect your boundary. All you can do is enforce consequences. I, 27M, have been dating my girlfriend, 26F, for about a year. So less than 1 year, and you're putting up with this crap. This is the kind of woman you walk/run away from now. She's showing you who she is. She's controlling, irrationally jealous, drama-seeking, and immature. Her behavior is something I'd expect from a high schooler, not a grown-ass woman. Honestly, do future you a huge favor and dump her now. Don't go through the year-end holidays fighting with a drama-creating child. Just get rid of her now, enjoy peaceful holidays, and go out New Year's Eve as a single guy looking to meet new people. Block her everywhere, including all social media sites, and move on. Time to walk away. She does not respect you. Find a partner that does. My 40 male, girlfriend, 34 female, just FaceTimed me drunk, reassuring me she is not cheating on me. Am I cooked? Dating 6 months, long distance, have known each other for 11 years. She is working toward getting a job where I live/remote, so she can move to where I live, because I have a rooted successful business here, and she currently doesn't have a solid career/works odd jobs/part-time jobs. She drinks a lot more than me. It has come up before. She is currently in Colorado visiting her best friend, 34 female, and I knew they were going out tonight. My understanding is that her friend has been pretty sober for a long time. She just FaceTimed me. Normally I wouldn't be up that late, but I fell asleep on the couch tonight and happened to be up transitioning to the bed. She was clearly very drunk and said so multiple times herself. I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was something along the lines of, "Don't worry, I'm not fooling around behind your back/cheating on you," which is really odd because we have never had this type of exchange or tension around any kind of cheating or whatever, and we are long distance anyway, so that comes with required trust. She showed the rest of her crew. It was her bestie, and then 2 guys. Bestie was also clearly very drunk. She said something along the same line like, "Don't worry, I'm taking care of your girl," and mentioned that the safe word had not been used. Not sure what that meant. I said, "Hey, go have fun," and gently ended the call. Am I cooked? Sounds like she has an alcohol issue and doesn't trust herself to make good decisions when she drinks, which is why she and her friend have a safe word and why she's reassuring you that she's not misbehaving. Why are the 2 of them with 2 random guys when they are clearly blitzed out of their minds? If you're asking if you're cooked, I'd say the oven is on. LMAO. Drunk people aren't very smart. They tend to say stuff that they think will help their case, but obviously hurts it. In this case, I still have no idea, hahaha. Like, did she have a moment of missing you and worried you would think she was cheating and want to tell you she's not as a considerate thing? Or was she clearly up to no good and figured she was about to get caught and figured she could just tell you nothing is happening and that'd fix it? Impossible to say. Only she knows, lol. I will say the alcohol thing is concerning. She's quite old for this kind of behavior. It's not the kind of interaction that would have me feeling great about being with someone one way or the other. It just feels weird. OMG, that's so awkward she called you randomly just to say she's not cheating. Feels like classic guilty conscience behavior to me. As a woman that used to drink in my 20s, you're not cooked. I have had many sloppy drunk nights, and the really weird things I would say is one of the main reasons I quit drinking. They might have been talking about your relationship, or someone made a comment about LDR and cheating, and she drunkenly hyper-focused on that part. I wouldn't say you're cooked. Really hard to know since no one can know what's going on there. They might be just out having fun. That conversation would make me anxious too, though. Like, whoever said anything about cheating, why even bring that up? So her best friend has been sober for a long time, but was wasted on the FaceTime? Have a discussion tomorrow, and find out what's up. TBH or fact she called you is a green flag for me. Yeah, the guys being there aren't great, but I wouldn't make assumptions yet. How do I, 29F, get my 25M fiancé to see he has a drinking problem? My 29F fiancé, 25M, Isaac, not real name for obvious reasons, has a drinking problem / alcohol use disorder. At least myself, my friend who is getting her PhD in clinical psychology, and others believe so. Of course, Isaac does not believe so. We have been dating for 6 years, and are essentially set to get married in the spring. When we first started dating when he was in college, I thought he would grow out of it, or that his bartending job was just the reason for why he was drinking more often than others. As we moved in together 3 years into the relationship, I realized it was something more than that. He struggled sleeping, and would often have a beer or two before bed. He often blamed this on him hating his other job, one that was closer into the field that he wanted to go into. Sometimes his drinking would interfere with my classes. He would often stay out late, and say he was on his way home, and then 3 hours later be home, while I would stay up awake waiting for him. This rarely would occur when I had an important exam, or had to wake up early the next day. Sometimes he would drive home drunk, and I've had to one time yell at his friends for letting him drive so intoxicated. He hasn't gotten pulled over yet, but I fear one day he will, or that he will hurt someone or himself. We would get in a huge fight about it, and then he said he wouldn't drink for a certain amount of time, and he could stop drinking, but then once he starts back up again, it's like he doesn't count his drinks, or he stays out later than he thinks he does. He often has gone to bars alone with no friends, and will sometimes drink at home alone, which I have told him is weird when it's more than 1 or 2 drinks. Well, we moved, and I thought we had a talk about his drinking, when one time he came home, after hanging out with a friend, drove drunk home, and passed out, and threw up in his sleep on our bed. This was also a night where I had to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to take care of patients at my job. After that night things have been kind of improving. He was drinking a lot less but still drinking, but at least being safer about it, where he would plan to not drive. His timing sometimes would still suck, and he would stay later than he says he will be, though this has become less frequent, and he has been more communicative. Well, last night he was celebrating at a holiday party at his new job. He purposely didn't drive and Ubered to the place, and planned to stay at one of my bridesmaids' house when he got back. I went to bed earlier than him, because I had a working interview the next day which he knew about. I wake up to a call at 3:30 a.m. from a weird number. He apologized for calling from his work phone, as his phone had died. He asked me to order him an Uber, because he had been walking around for an hour and a half, and was unable to order himself an Uber due to his personal phone dying. I had to find out where he was by getting him to find the street and a house number. That's when I learned he was 20 minutes south from where he started, and he needed to be 20 minutes north. He was nice at first, but getting a little frustrated with how cold it was, and how long it was taking the Uber to get to him. I immediately messaged the Uber and apologized for his state. I was on his work phone with him, and soon after the Uber started driving he stopped responding. I texted the Uber driver to confirm he fell asleep. When the Uber driver got to my friend's house, Isaac wouldn't wake up, to which I panicked, and told the Uber driver if he couldn't wake him up that he would have to take him to the hospital. I think this terrified the Uber driver, and he was raising his voice being like, "Sir, do you want to go home, or to the hospital?" Isaac eventually mumbled out home, and the Uber driver told him to get out of his car. Then he didn't remember the code to get into the house. Thankfully, after 30 minutes, my friend's dog started barking at him, and her roommate let him in. The ride cost $20, and I tipped the Uber driver $20. I wish I had the means to tip the Uber driver more. It's not like Isaac drinks every night, so he doesn't see it as an alcohol use disorder, and just thinks it's a slip-up. I think he thinks because he doesn't act like his dad used to. His dad was a raging alcoholic, then got horrible cancer, and was told to stop or he would die, to which he did stop, that this isn't a problem. I think because it also doesn't affect his work, he doesn't see it as a problem. I've tried to talk to him about how it affects me and makes me feel. While he apologizes for how he acts in these situations, he still doesn't think it's an issue. I told him I'm at my breaking point. I need him to see that this is an issue. I'm making him sleep in the guest room because I'm trying to work on boundaries and setting consequences for things. I emailed all of our vendors asking if we delayed the wedding, but still stuck with them if we would lose our deposit. He's of course got scared when I did this and thinks I don't want to marry him. I told him it's not that I don't want to marry him. I felt like we needed to work on us more, and well, our wedding planner, to be honest, has sucked, so there are other benefits for us pushing it back anyways. I told him I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to work on themselves. To which he says he is working on himself, he just doesn't want to go to therapy or AA. He says he will stop drinking for me. Do I believe that? Do you read this and think he has a problem too? We have couples therapy on Monday, to which he doesn't even want to go to with his new job, as he's not really a therapy person and doesn't think it helps. He refuses to go to therapy on his own or attend an AA meeting. I convinced him to call/video chat in at least to the meeting on Monday. Wish me luck, Reddit, and any advice is appreciated, although I'm scared of what you all will say. Too long did not read. I think my fiancé has a drinking problem. He doesn't think so. How do we make this work? He has a drinking problem and refuses therapy, no surprise there. In his eyes, it's not a problem. You have told him you're at breaking point. It's time to play hardball and call off the wedding. It's no good being married to an alcoholic. If he won't get treatment, it will only get worse. He will in the long run refuse to work and make you support his lifestyle. Give him the ring back and make him see you mean business. Either he attends AA meetings and therapy, or you call the marriage off and threaten to walk altogether. You should get out now. Just imagine how down you're going to feel married to this man who won't admit he has a problem. Drinking will only get worse. And think of all the money you lose on his booze. Alcoholism will rip your life apart. Don't marry this dude. I've seen it happen in my own family, grew up surrounded by alcoholics, friends, families, and colleagues. Abuse, divorce, misery, jail time. Until this kid understands he's out of control, either by serious self-reflection, or he kills someone by driving drunk and goes to prison. He won't change. Next time he drives drunk, call the cops. I'm an alcoholic, 10 years sober. You cannot help him see that he has a drinking problem. Until you leave, he will continue to drink. Why would he stop? He's getting everything he wants. I'm so sorry. You can't make see that. It's literally part of this illness. Don't you think his family tried to tell his dad that he was literally killing himself? It didn't work there, and it won't work here. The deeper truth is that alcoholics don't want to live without alcohol. It's scary. So they refuse to see the pattern, because if there is no pattern, nothing needs to be done about it. The most likely result from that video chat will be him telling you that it's not really that bad, and therefore not a problem. You cannot save him from himself. He needs to make that decision. You can support him once he decides to get sober, but until then, the most likely result is you watching him getting worse. Alcoholism is progressing. What does essentially set to get married in the spring actually mean? It sounds like he needs AA or to completely stop drinking. My boyfriend didn't feel the craving to drink, but whenever he did, it was a shit show, just like you described. After one too many times, I told him that was it and broke up with him. He quit booze on the spot and worked towards getting me back by showing his consistency with attending AA meetings. He thinks that being around other people that don't drink it is motivating to him, plus it's free and tangible to go to a meeting. I knew he was serious about us, took him back, and we are becoming happier and healthier than we have ever been. If your boyfriend is a good future husband, he will prioritize you over the drinking. Otherwise, don't marry him. You will regret it. Good luck, Opie.